Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are strapping in for perhaps our most ambitious mission yet. We're going to try and decode the fundamental structure of a proposed future civilization.
Yeah, and the source material is, well, it's pretty radical. It's not some dry scientific paper. It's this massive text that actually calls itself project fiction, or pro-fi for short.
Pro-fi.
Right.
And this isn't like your standard sci-fi novel either.
Not at all. In this context, pro-fi is presented as a highly technical blueprint. It's about getting humanity from, well, what the authors pretty bluntly call our current suboptimal state A.
Yeah, suboptimal seems generous sometimes.
A, right.
Yeah.
Transitioning from that to an optimized future, state B. And the text lays out this really comprehensive architecture for something called the noonet project, which is supposed to make that leap possible.
And the way they frame it is just wild. The whole pro-fi narrative kicks off with this test. Humanity gets a test from these bizarre, super powerful aliens.
Yeah, the octopus-butterfly hybrids. It's a striking image.
It really is.
Yeah.
And these beings, they demand just one thing. Describe the future you want, state B. But, and this is the key part, it has to be convincing.
Exactly. No naive utopian stuff, no hand-waving, no wishful thinking. The aliens, who were sort of the gatekeepers here, can supposedly detect any BS immediately.
So the whole point of the source material, this pro-fi, is to force a serious, rigorous approach.
Yeah.
To flood the marketplace of ideas with detailed blueprints for what people really want or could want.
Because the argument is that right now in State A, that kind of deep, long-term thinking about civilization's future is, well, the text calls it indecent.
Indecent. That's a strong word. Like, it's almost improper to think too big or too far ahead.
Kind of. Like, why waste time on grand philosophical designs when you've got bills to pay, immediate crises to handle? There's this cultural vacuum where deep futurology just doesn't happen seriously.
And that's why they say we need a new language. You can't build State B using the old conceptual tools.
Precisely. Terms like social media, politics, economy, they're just inadequate for describing a stable, potentially cosmic scale civilization. So yeah, we have to adopt this whole new conceptual vocabulary.
How many new terms are we talking about?
The source introduces nearly 260 just to properly describe the noonet architecture without, fudging the details or losing precision.
260 terms. Wow. Okay, that's a linguistic reset.
Yeah.
So, challenge accepted. Let's start digging into that new conceptual foundation. How do we even begin to remap civilization itself?
Well, first step is moving past those older 20th century ideas. Things like the noosphere, the technosphere.
Right, Teilhard de Chardin, Vernadsky, those felt kind of cozy, didn't they? Like a thin layer wrapped around Earth.
Exactly, cozy. But now we've got rovers kicking up dust on Mars, probes heading out of the solar system, satellites everywhere. The scale isn't just planetary anymore, it's potentially cosmic.
So that expansion demands new words.
It really does. So the human component, all of us, all of humanity, that's now termed the new array. Think of it like a vast graph that...
Okay, a graph where people are the...
Nodes. Individual human beings are nodes. And the connections between them, the communication lines, those are the connectors.
So if you imagine this huge network, the new array, draped over the Earth, trillions of nodes, trillions of connectors, it forms a kind of pattern.
Kind of crystalline structure, yeah. That's what the source calls the new lattice.
The new lattice. And what we call the internet today is like a primitive attempt to build that lattice.
A very primitive, very suboptimal attempt, yes. And then, complementing the human side, you've got the instrumental side of civilization. All our stuff, that's the techno-array.
Everything we use, like literally everything.
From a stone axe to a quantum computer, yes. All tools, all technology, it's the sum total of humanity's instrumental capacity.
And the individual pieces within that huge technological web. A specific app, a car, a factory machine?
Those are defined as technoids, individual components of the techno-array.
Okay, so conceptually, our entire civilization, everything happening on Earth and beyond, is basically the sum of these two massive arrays. The new array, which is us and our connections forming the new lattice.
Right, the human intelligence structure.
And the techno-way, which is all our tools, all the technoids, our whole instrumental setup.
That duality frames everything that follows. The new array and the techno-array. Human network and tool network.
Got it. But to really understand how the new array is supposed to work, or could work, we need to go deeper into the metaphysics, the driving forces behind it all.
Yeah, the source kind of shifts the ground under our feet here. It moves away from a purely physics-based view of reality and introduces the concept of the panject.
Panject. Okay, what's a panject?
It's a term designed to unify subjective and objective aspects. Everything, absolutely everything. A rock, an idea, a person, a galaxy is a panject. It has both objective properties and a kind of internal subjective or informational component.
So it avoids that old mind-body split or subject-object divide.
That seems to be the goal. And crucially, every panject has an internal instruction set, a kind of blueprint or directive complex that guides its development, its behavior, its trajectory.
And that's called?
Axio, A-X-I-O. The Axio is the core directive. Think of it like the panject's internal code, its purpose, its developmental path.
So instead of seeing the world as just particles bumping around according to physical laws, this view sees everything driven by its internal axio, an axiocentric worldview.
Exactly. It replaces physicocentrism with axiocentrism. That's a fundamental shift in perspective, a huge one.
Okay, so if everything is a panject with an axio, what makes things happen? What drives the axio to unfold?
There's this universal drive towards equilibrium, towards stability and self-maintenance, towards, local homeostasis. The source calls this reparato.
Reparato, like,
Repair.
yeah, derived from the Latin for repair. The idea is that everything is constantly trying to maintain itself, repair damage, reach a stable state, constant improvement, constant maintenance. That's reparato. And how does reparato manifest in our universe? The source has a specific name for our universe, doesn't it?
It does. The Big Rend universe, or BRU. We'll get to the Rend part in a moment. But within our BRU, reparato primarily expresses itself as singulation.
Singulation. That sounds like things coming together.
Precisely. It's the drive towards clustering, towards coherence, complexity building. Think gravity pulling dust into stars, atoms bonding into molecules, cells forming organisms, people forming societies. That's all singulation. The universe trying to pull itself together, build structure.
But you mentioned the Rend part of the Big Rend universe. That sounds like the opposite.
It is, because our universe, the BRU, doesn't exist in isolation, according to this model. It's part of a larger multiverse ecosystem. And the external influence from that wider multiverse is rending.
Rending, like tearing apart.
Exactly. Rending is the destructive force, the cosmic equivalent of entropy, maybe even more active than that. It pulls systems apart, causes decay, promotes decoherence. It's the multiverse trying to tear our universe apart, essentially.
Wow, so everything, every panject, is caught in this cosmic tug of war.
Pretty much every panject, from a quark to a civilization, is effectively a reparatron, a self-repairing gadget, constantly striving to maximize its internal singulation, its coherence, while minimizing the effects of external rending. It's a constant balancing act.
That reframes everything: growth, decay, life, death, order, chaos.
Yeah.
It's all part of this fundamental dynamic between singulation trying to build and rending trying to tear down.
That's the core metaphysical engine described. And when you apply this to the whole of human civilization, the new array, its overall trajectory, its growth and evolution, that's called its sheaf.
Sheaf, like a bundle of wheat or a trajectory in mathematics.
More like the latter, yeah. Any entity's complete life cycle, its path through time and possibility space, is its sheaf. And for the entire new array, the whole of humanity, its collective path is the hypersheaf.
The hypersheaf. And the evolution of this hypersheaf isn't random. It follows some kind of pattern.
It follows an ontogenetic pattern, like an organism developing. The source uses the analogy of a daily schedule. There's the pre-dawn twilight, then the dawn, which it calls aurora, and then the peak, the high point of stability and function, which is Merides, or midday.
Okay, so twilight, dawn, aurora, midday, Merides. Where are we now, according to this framework?
We are currently in late dawn. We're facing the Aurorian crisis.
The Aurorian crisis. That sounds critical.
It is. This is the crunch point. The moment where the forces of rending internal dysfunction, external threats, technological complexity outpacing our ability to manage it might overwhelm singulation. It's the point where the civilization could collapse irreversibly.